Here we are, people. Here we are. How you doing, guys? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. As you can see, we have entered into the winter. As you can see, we have entered into the winter. The winter has begun. It has begun, and that implies two things. First, any viewer from the US, from the United States, be aware that while you can use the um, the timer that I have here over at the Twitch page, that will still adapt directly to your time zone automatically. Just so you know, hey Patrick, how are you doing? No Dragon's Sang Online, no fun. Well, yes, but that one is on Tuesdays. That one is on Tuesdays. Today, on Thursdays, as I said, I play Star Wars: The Old Republic. There are other people who like watching that other game, for example. Yeah. On Thursdays I do Star Wars: Your Republic, and precisely as I was mentioning on Tuesday, that I am a variety streamer. Okay, have fun, mate. No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, I play that one on Tuesdays. It's just that I like doing variety. I explained it on Tuesday, because then otherwise I don't like becoming a slave of a single game in that sense, and I want to have kind of like a common denominator across different games. Precisely that's why I do variety, to analyze and compare the gameplay mechanics. If I only play one game, in that sense, I cannot establish comparisons and show them on stream with my crazy metaphysical analysis. That's the thing, Patrick. But of course, you are more than welcome to check out Star Wars: Your Republic. And if you don't like it, no worries. I will play other games as well. Then I switch them, and Dragon's Sang Online on Tuesdays. Okay, as I was mentioning, people, a notice for viewers from the United States. Since the winter has started, since the winter has started, there's a 2 hour difference between the second I start my stream, between my my usual schedule, when I start the schedule, when I start the stream on Thursdays and Tuesdays, and your time zone. It's 2 hours instead of one, because for those of you who don't know, the United States has four time zones, and precisely mine is 1 hour earlier than the US East Coast, for example, than the US East Coast. Basically, that's the thing. But during the winter, it's 2 hours. Here in Argentina, we no longer use that. Some years ago, it was removed because it made no sense. The United States, it does make sense because it's kind of like horizontal. It's kind of like so wide that it does make sense. In the case of Argentina, it's a vertical country in the globe, so it didn't make sense. Okay, so for US viewers, starting some 2 days ago, winter time zone usage, so 2 hours instead of one at the beginning. You remember, you have the panel down here. I mention this every year. The panel automatically adjusted to your own time zone, regardless where you are in the world, right? But in case you don't see the time zone, it's 2 hours instead of one. Okay, so as you can see, the winter has started, people. 6 degrees Celsius. We here in Argentina, we use the European standard. In that sense, we didn't change that when we were created as a country. And basically, 6 degrees Celsius, roughly 41, 42 Fahrenheit for US viewers. Okay, I already switched everything there. I have everything ready. The title, I already updated it. Perfect. Let's go, people. Okay, so last time, just as a quick, brief recap, we finished the last bounty hunt that we were assigned. Remember that this is my most played game of all time. This is Star Wars: Your Republic. It's my favorite game of all time. I talk about this game constantly. People remember that we've already finished the final analysis of the game, doing Knights of the Fallen Empire, the expansion on master mode. After a lot of tries, it took me a lot of credits, 17 million credits just on retries and everything, but I managed to beat Knights of the Fallen Empire on master mode. On master mode, people. So with shitty gear as well, because I was not prepared for that. Okay, so now I basically need a fifth character because of the crew skills. Because of the crew skills, I need this crew skill called Artifice up to the maximum. This is kind of like the crafting system of the game, and the crafting system of the game allows you to basically create augments for gear, modifications that give you extra stats, just so you have a bit of a reference, basically. So you need 4 crew skills, different ones. See, the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics is always so fascinating because of all of these things. So I need Artifice, Armor Mech that I already have, Cybertech, and Biochem. I have the other 3. I only need this one. That's why I need one more character. And also, you need to finish the story quest for this character, basically the main story, to have a 5% endurance health points on all of your characters through the legacy system. In that sense, that is common to all of your characters. Okay, so the idea
We're not like the Alderaan,
is that we'll
right?
play the story of the bounty hunter. It's a Star Wars. It's kind of like this is actually Knights of the Old Republic 4. This is actually Knights of the Old Republic 4, 5, and 6. For those of you who don't know, in case you play the Knights of the Old Republic, I have mentioned it. So basically, I've already done the Jedi Knight story, the Sith Juggernaut, the Inquisitor, and I need to do the bounty hunter, the Imperial Agent as well. I highly recommend it. The game is free to play. Everyone can play all of this story content pretty much without paying. And then, yes, you may need $60. Well, no, not 60, because it's 15 per month, and in 2 months you can do it with $30. You can then get subscription status, and you can pretty much, if you know what you're doing, if you use your free to play time to research what you need to do, then of course you can fix all of that. You can get all of the things that normally you cannot get when you are free to play, for example, in that sense. So basically, I would say I did that. I returned to the game some 2 months ago. I'm a returning player from 2015. People, you know it. and and yes, with $30 you can then have uh, you can have pretty much everything solved if you're efficient. If you need a bit more of time, well, another $30 would be 60 if you want to do it kind of like delayed in time, but no more than. I don't think anyone would need any more than that if they know what they are doing, at least. Okay, people. So let's go. We're about to finish chapter 1, then we need chapter 2 and chapter 3 of the Bounty Hunter origin story, and we need to level up those crew skills. We need to get our companions. Let's go. Meet Mako, people. This is Mako. For those of you who are joining us right now,
Assassins kill people for money. You kill people for money. How are you different from the Alderaan?
watching this as a YouTube body in the future, basically, it's the Bounty Hunter story. We're about to enter the second chapter. Okay.
I kill people who deserve to die.
I hope that's true, because otherwise that makes us the bad guys too. I guess we still have work to do. I hope the rest of our targets are nothing like this guy.
I love how the...
Should we get out of here? I want to get as far away from Nar Shaddaa as possible.
You'll get no argument from me.
Ugh, I
Okay,
This
let's go
place is
to.
ugly and sleazy.
We'll go to the next planet, people. Let's go. Holo terminal. Yeah, this has to be the ending of chapter 1, huh? Just one more planet and we get to the ending. At the
Alderan's been
pacing that
taken
we are
care of.
going,
My intel confirms that. The
we'll
Hutt
be there
cartel
pretty
just yanked
fast.
their live bounty on the Eidolon. I have word that
The
your
Eidolon is
highness
the
knows
assassin that
it'd
we
be you as
killed
well.
last time.
Congratulations, Hunter. You've cleared the first round. Your next 2 targets are on Tatooine and Alderaan. Transmitting your target briefings to you now. Your handler will be pleased to hear they didn't go to waste. Before you move on to your next target, return to Dromund Kaas. We have something to discuss in private. Luck out.
Ah, we have to go back to Dromund Kaas.
I
Okay.
wonder what that's all about. The Huntmaster's assistant should never communicate with any hunter during a great hunt. It's just not done.
For those of you who don't know, Dromund Kaas is the capital of the Sith Empire. Basically, think about World of Warcraft, Orgrimmar, something like that. Here it's technically the Imperial fleet, but still. Okay.
We'll know soon enough.
I hope we didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, I think that's the ending of chapter 1, in fact. Look at that, Imperial Legacy of Nar Shaddaa, look at this. Completed all story missions for all Imperial classes on Nar Shaddaa. Precisely, this is the last one that I needed, because I had the other 3. It was the last one that I needed. Precisely, that's the thing. As you can see, it's not only that. Okay, so we have to go back. I know, but it's use your ship to travel to Dromund Kaas. Be careful with that shit, because then if you go back to your stronghold and teleport, it doesn't update. It happened to me and it causes bugs. Okay, so as you can see, I'm also getting kind of like the full Imperial Legacy for each planet. So it's kind of like the last class that I needed to play, as you can see. As I was mentioning, capital of the Sith Empire, as you can read from there, guys. Basically, for those of you who don't know, this game is the continuation of Knights of the Old Republic with the original premise. The original idea, you know, was to create a third Knights of the Old Republic game offline, not like this, offline, in which the promise was to fight the true original Sith Lords, the true original Sith Lords, the most powerful original Sith Lords, and pretty much then they converted that, or BioWare turned that original idea into this game, which is technically Knights of the Old Republic 4, because Knights of the Old Republic 3 does exist, and it's the book called Revan, in which precisely Revan comes over here to Dromund Kaas and finds something, the premise of Knights of the Old Republic 3, indeed. And well, something happens, which was going to be the original turning point of Knights of the Old Republic 3, and then this game happens. The Jedi Knight story of this game would be Knights of the Old Republic 4 in that sense. And well, during the 16 days of analysis that we did at the beginning, as I finished Master Mode Knights of the Fallen Empire,
This is entirely out of hand. No, don't touch that!
yes, now we have dynamic events, an element that is inherited from another MMORPG called Rift. I don't know if you remember it, people. If you remember it. Hey, I wonder if I can kill that one, though. It's a world boss for the event. Let's see if I can kill it. Let's see if I can kill it. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Is it a group boss or what? No, 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 it doesn't look like a group boss. And pretty much here you can see one of the inherited elements from a game called Rift. Very, very old, if you think about it, people. And it wasn't that successful, but still, it incorporated the concept of dynamic events for the first time. Rift, it was an MMORPG, people. Then, that idea, while the game wasn't successful, was incorporated by World of Warcraft and this game and all MMORPGs. So it's incredible how even games that would initially be considered a failure, incorporate ideas. Alright, that's for the event, that's why there's some people there. We don't care about that, we need to progress through the story. I'm using an experience boost plus rested experience for logging out in a cantina, classic World of Warcraft mechanic for rested experience. But the idea is that, as I have been mentioning, it's incredible. I wanted to highlight this. Even if we finish the analysis of the game, it's just leisure gameplay that I will do on my own, kind of like offline, because I need this fourth character because of the two reasons that I mentioned: the 5 HP boost for the rest of my characters in my legacy, and of course I need a fourth crafter for the best augments that I want to experience. Um, it's incredible how games like Rift incorporated mechanics. They incorporated mechanics.
A
Here
local
we have another
fauna
dynamic event.
mutating rapidly, and I believe the lightning spire could be the cause.
It's for new
Might you
players.
help me collect samples for further study?
It's incredible because then also another case that incorporated them is the Elder Scrolls Online. I played the Elder Scrolls Online, the main story. I play MMORPGs for the story, for the single player portion in a lot of cases, except for this one that I do a lot of group content and player versus player. But because it was my first MMORPG, the idea is that Rift influenced the dynamic encounters, not dynamic encounters. In the case of the Elder Scrolls Online, it was even more blatant because they used the same idea, the idea of the portals, that you would be in the game world. Here it's objective based. You could see that I had to capture those cats or something like that. But in the case of the other ones, it was just killing enemies that would come out of a rift, right? In the Elder Scrolls Online, it was exactly the same as Rift. A portal would open, it would drop enemies, and you had to survive. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. What the fuck? A trooper will fire? I don't know if he's talking about me because I'm exactly that. But no, don't think so.
Hunter, we don't have a lot of time, so I'll be brief. The sanctity of the Great Hunt has been compromised. Seems a slicer got a hold of the Great Hunt's target list and intends to auction those names to the highest bidders. Exposure like that would destroy the Great Hunt. I need this dealt with quickly and discreetly.
The Great Hunt, it's an event that, well, not an event, it's part of the main story that is an event inside of the main story, not a game server event like developed created by the developers. This one is just part of the main story. The Great Hunt is basically a competition in which the bounty hunters we compete to get honor with the Mandalorians and everything. So that's the idea. Especially I would say, I understand.
I'm a professional. I always guarantee privacy. Good. You don't want to end up on the next Great Hunt target list. I need you to find the slicer and learn how he got that list. Once the list is secure, eliminate every scrag stupid enough to show up to that auction. The Great Hunt is in good hands. The Huntmaster picked you for a reason. His instincts are rarely wrong.
The Handmaster, the
Hunt's
Wookiee,
Paymaster
remember.
Judah told us about the auction. She's on Shadda. She can tell you more. The fate of the Great Hunt rests in your hands. Remember that.
Interesting storyline. Interesting storyline. Don't worry, I can go back I can go back to the spaceport immediately. So yes, this is pretty much the ending of chapter 1, I think. I think it's the ending of chapter 1. We'll get a boss fight, I think, It looks like the ending of chapter 1 because the next two batch, the next batch of 2 planets that we're going to do, it's chapter 2. It was like that, the structure. I have always mentioned what when I was analyzing this game, what makes it so incredibly unique compared to World of Warcraft and other MMORPGs in general. And as I said countless times when we analyzed it, basically, it's the other one. See, I'm still used to the Sith Inquisitor landing bay there. One of the biggest points is how they perfectly intertwined. The the classic bioware storytelling system including the morality dialogue choice system, how they incorporated single player RPG elements in the framework and the structure of an MMORPG. It's absolutely fascinating. Fascinating because, as you could see, those dialogue wheel choices combined um, with precisely the MMORPG combat, exactly like World of Warcraft, is like injecting a portion of Mass Effect into an MMORPG. And you must be thinking, well, but the dialogue choice system doesn't have any consequence. Like in single player RPGs, it pretty much determines the story. In this case, it does not determine the story. It does determine the story here. For example, the final boss of the Sith Warriors story, Lord Barras, a legendary character that we all love in this game, Lord Darth Barras. For example, you can spare or kill him by the end of the story. And one could argue, well, but it doesn't change pretty much the outcome a lot. Yes, it's true that the degree of efficiency in the influence um, of precisely the dialogue choice system is not as heavy as in, say, Mass Effect or Knights of the Republic, which determine completely 100% all of the story. All of the story. They determine 100% all of the story. But it's still fascinating to look into that because here, for example, you do a flashpoint, a dungeon, you completed you are doing a dungeon and you get to a point, and for example, depending on the morality choice system that you end up selecting, in this case it's dark side or light side, both of them, um, it will, for example, determine which boss you are fighting in a dungeon, in the first dungeon. That idea should have been expanded upon in this game. It's just that they ran out of development time. But in the first dungeon of the game, you can see that they had pretty good intentions, but then they didn't expand upon that idea. But yes, well, it is true that the degree of impact that the morality choice system, the degree of efficiency in the integration that it has within the framework of the limitations of the MMORPG mechanics of the game is precisely more limited, is not that high, that the efficiency, because you cannot determine the whole course of the story through decisions. You will have some consequences, but not as impactful as in, say, Mass Effect, that you get a completely different cinematic, completely different situation, completely different path. It's not like that, but it's fascinating to see that within the constraints of the framework of an MMORPG, they still managed, the talented Texan team over at BioWare Austin that was created uniquely for this game, they still they still managed to somehow incorporate um, the signature elements that made BioWare so great within the framework of an MMORPG, which wasn't their field of expertise at all. So that's why I regard this as the best game of all time, because of how versatile it is. Because of how versatile it is. It's the most versatile game that you'll ever find, because it works as a single player game, it works as an MMORPG, it works as a group oriented cooperative player versus environment game. It works as a player versus player game as well, because the PvP, that the competitive PvP does feature objectives. It's not just arenas killing each other like in, let's say, World of Warcraft without objectives. You have those, but the original game mode also had objectives, which are the war zones, basically. So, is it perfect, Eraser? Is everything perfect? No. As you can see, there's one problem that the game has. It's technical. And as you can see, the shitty, disgusting, terrible hero engine that Electronic Arts forced on the game to release it earlier, because otherwise they were going to use a completely different engine, and they were going to release a completely different they were going to use a completely different graphics engine, and it was even going to be offline. It was going to be Knights of the Republic 3, precisely. It's terrible. It wasn't prepared for online multiplayer. It still isn't. So yeah, it was prepared. It's the engine of Mass Effect 3. Basically, they said use the engine of Mass Effect 3, Electronic Arts. That's why it's so evil. It's so incredibly evil all the time, always. So yes, we know about item modification. I just wanted some free experience points like that. Thank you. There we go. Alright, beautiful Hata. Now look at that, we got some extra XP boosts. Here, this one is bound. When it says bound, it means that I cannot transfer it to other characters. So yeah, pretty much I better use it. Let me clean up the inventory a tiny bit.
Are you serious? Thank you.
People, let me clear up the inventory a bit. As you can see, I have 3 stacks of experience boosts, so this should be quite fast. In fact, I am running out of time, so that's why I will try to do this as fast as possible. Damn it. No influence gain, blah 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 blah. Where is it? Let me... Well, okay, we need to find a vendor. No problem. I could expand the inventory, I guess. How much? 20k credits. Good. Let's expand the inventory. Don't worry. As you can see, well, in Drakensang you have to use the real money, which is the undermanned, that one, or you have to farm a lot. Here, in the case of this one, it's kind of like command credit standard in that sense, for example. Just so you can see the comparison of the... Both of them have pay-to-win models in that sense. It's how you apply them. For example, this one has this cartel market. Here, the worst shit that they've ever done, of course. But yeah, here you can buy stuff for real money. When you see cartel coins, it's real money. Though you can earn them in game, you can earn them maybe in game by playing. If I... Okay, let's go. Let's see. I wouldn't think that we had to come back here. This was part of the prologue. Hata.
Krista said you'd be coming by. I was so relieved to hear the Mandalorians weren't sending a stranger. Before I tell you what I know about this auction, I need to ask for a favor. There are bound to be some really nasty people at this auction, so please keep my name out of this. I don't want to put my family in jeopardy.
Okay.
Don't worry, I won't be doing a lot of talking.
Thank you. My family means everything to me. I discovered the auction through one of Nemro's business associates. We were settling an account, and he asked if Nemro would be participating. I pretended I knew what he was talking about. That's how I learned about the slicer and the list.
Is this someone you're familiar with, or was he a new face?
Alright, now we have to save the Great Hunt, people.
That it all sounds legitimate. The auction's taking place here in Jakuna. The slicer left these details for Nemro. I hope they help. It should have already started. Please let me know how it goes. I won't be able to sleep otherwise.
Okay, let's see. Go to the auction site. Where is it? Should be more or less over here. Okay. I'll activate the XP boost once we get into a farming zone, or we get a mission that actually requires us killing stuff. In that sense. But for now, it's kind of like, it's the ending of chapter 1, that's why. There's a lot of dialogue, people, in case you're wondering. Like I kind of like spent the last hour of the previous of the previous stream of this game kind of like constantly killing,
We are
and
now
now
responsible
it's
for
kind
mission
of like
captures.
reloading. It's kind of like getting to the end of chapter 1, and then we start chapter 2 with Tatooine and Alderaan. We'll move to those planets. We'll travel to those planets. Yeah, it's the ending. This is going to be a boss fight. Knowing the structure of this game, it's the ending of chapter 1. Remember, I need to finish chapter 2, but it will be fast at this. At the rate I'm going, at this, at the pace I'm going, it's going to be so fast. Consider that it's level, the ending of chapter 3, the ending of the story quest is like 45, 47 at most. Like no more than that. We already halfway there. We're already halfway there. No need to get to 50, which would be the perfect level. I remember that when I did the Sith Inquisitor story with precisely with Eraser, with my original character, my legendary original character. Um, I finished it at 40, 2, I think. Most of my attacks actually missed the final boss because it used the old school system of World of Warcraft from Wrath of the Lich King precisely, in which most of the attacks missed. In which most of the attacks missed if you attacked a target that was several levels above you. So yeah, but some of them landed precisely my damage over time abilities, and I could kill it at 41, 42, I think it was, something like that. So yeah, it was quite the experience finishing the main story, chapter 3 of the main story, at that precisely um, at that level. Hey, we were here more or less. Let me. What the fuck? What's this shit? Disconnection? I don't see a disconnection. Why is it telling me a disconnection? Why is it telling me a disconnection there? It says. Streamlabs is always bothering me with stupid disconnections, and there is no disconnection at all. It always bothers me with this shit. There's a. You don't see it, but there's kind of like a thingy there telling me a notification saying stream disconnected, reconnecting, whatever. But I see it perfectly smooth. It's at 9K bit rate. Look at that. So yeah, I remember that. I remember that I finished Sith Inquisitor story at 42 with Eraser with my main
You ain't
character,
listening. I don't want that
and
list. I just
and it
want a
was
book with
epic.
my names on it.
We didn't
An
have
excellent point.
automatic level
What if we're only interested in
adjustment.
certain names?
I'm sure we could come to some arrangement. That's what this auction is all about. How about I just bleed you nice and slow, and then take the list from your cold, dead hand?
Look at that, people. This is what I'm talking about. Wannabe gangster haircuts. The wannabe gangster haircuts. Look at that. The guy's bald, but he has two lines separated of hair like that. Like ignore the scratch the scratch causing scars on his face, but look at the wannabe gangster haircut. Like when developers come up with these haircuts, you just have to laugh at this. Okay.
Looks like you're in way over your head. Hey, chuff sucker, sit down and shut it or you're dead. Look, everybody calm down. This list is encrypted. I die, and nobody gets it. I say we kill this worm and get another slicer to crack the pad.
Suits us fine.
No!
Yeah. I love it. Those screeches that they created from back in the day.
Who's the pretty sidekick, Buster?
uh have you ever heard the shout. Do you remember the shout, the cry of Lord Barras when he's uh, trying to extract information from a Republic agent, and he does the legendary cry of Lord Barras. You Google SWTOR Barras. I cannot break him. Ah! It's kind of like a perfect cry, and he says, "I cannot break him. I cannot break him." I love that's an iconic moment of the game. Ah, it's like the cry. How the voice actor did created that cry. It's a fascinating moment. You Google Sutor, um, Barras. I cannot break him, and you'll see what glory means, people.
Start talking.
It's
How'd
a
you get this
legendary
list?
moment.
Some guy
I
said he was a
cannot break
Mandalorian.
him.
He got me the codes to break in. Said I could sell the names and make a fortune.
Okay.
I want a name.
I never met the guy. I got contacted via Holo. He kept his face hidden and disguised his voice. He said targets assigned to Taro Blood were off limits. Maybe he has money on this Blood guy winning.
Or Taro Blood gave this slicer the list.
Good point.
We have to expect Taro to pull some stunts like this.
That man has lived way longer than he has any right to.
Okay, ending of chapter 1.
I'm
We are
right.
fighting the
I told
idiot,
you
I
everything
guess.
I know. Please, just let me go. I'll never talk about that list again. I swear.
Okay, okay. Are there other copies?
Who else knows the contents of this list?
Nimrod's paymaster, Judah, helped me arrange the auction. She has another copy. I agreed to split the profits with her 50-50. In fact, with everyone here dead, Judah's the only one left who knows about the list. Please, let me go.
Run
You
well,
have
Luke.
to disappear forever. Got it?
No one will know I even existed.
Remember, people, if they can prostitute the classes of the game, the original classes of the game, if the developers can prostitute it and casualize it, doing kind of like these combat disciplines or whatever the fuck it may be, that you can switch classes or whatever. If they can do that, because back in the day you had to choose an advanced class and you had to stick with the consequences of your choices. Since they can do that, then I can create this new class called Imperial Trooper instead of the Bounty Hunter, because I'm not interested in being a Bounty Hunter. So yeah, consider it kind of like a copy of the Imperial Agent, but in melee in this case. So yeah, Imperial Trooper. That's it. So yeah, if they can prostitute the original classes and the advanced class system of the game to casualize it, then I can picture the people crying, telling Broadsword or Bioware before they sold the shit. I don't know when they changed in this 10-year hiatus that I had to go to law school. I don't know when they exactly changed this shit, but I forgot about the experience boost. Let's begin with this one. There we go. That should last an hour, and then I activate the major one. Then that it has the same effect. It's the same. It's from completing class missions. That's precisely it. I don't know exactly when they changed the advanced classes system, but I can picture some people crying, "Oh, I didn't choose the correct class for my play style. BioWare, please add a way so I can re-roll without creating a new character." Yeah. You know how many classes I had to explore before I found the ones that I liked? Three. I fucked up 3 times. First with a Jedi Shadow. I didn't like the class. I never liked the class. The Jedi Shadow. I never liked it. I fucked up with that one. Then the Marauder. I never liked the Marauder because it's too squishy. And then a Jedi Guardian, which is a class that I did like. But the problem is that it was on Republic side and it was depopulated. So 3 characters. My first 3 characters were failed classes that I didn't master. And I rolled the 4th one, and the 4th one worked, and the 5th one worked. and the sixth one, they worked perfectly. The fourth one was Eraser, precisely. Then, of course, no, the fourth one was my Juggernaut. Eraser was the fifth, actually. So then I rolled a Juggernaut. Same as Guardian, but on Imperial side. Then a Sorcerer, and then I realized I was good at Sorcerer, but I didn't like Assassin because of the range. And then I went Sniper, and so on and so forth, and etc., etc., etc. So, and you know back then what was what they would tell you if you said if you played a class that you clearly didn't like and you didn't master it. For example, when I was playing Marauder, I was I was moving I was moving
You thought I wouldn't find
like
out you had
a
a copy of
juggernaut,
the list?
like more of a
It's not
tank
what you think, I swear. I'm the one who called the Mandalorians, remember? I didn't know about the Great Hunt list.
with a more
All I
defensive
knew was that
playstyle.
Pelican had some valuable information and needed help finding buyers. He gave me a taste. He told me we'd split the profits. I didn't learn what the list was till later.
Deals like that always have a price.
I was naive. I just needed the money so bad I didn't care. Here, this is the only other copy of the list that I know of. And unless you left anyone alive in that auction, no one else knows about it. Just, please, keep my name out of this. I tried to make it right.
Your secret's safe with me, but don't think I've gone soft.
Thank you. You don't know what this means to me.
Take care of yourself, Judah. Maybe we'll visit on better terms next time.
You'll always be welcome here. Good luck in the Great Hunt.
Okay, I presume this is the ending of chapter 1. I presume this is the ending of chapter 1, people. Okay, what now? Use your ship to return to Dromund Kaas. Alright, there's a lot of traveling in between today in the ending of chapter 1, people, apparently. Okay, no worries. So as I was mentioning, you know what, I was playing as a Marauder. As for those of you who are not familiar with the game, basically a Marauder is a melee only DPS class. It's like melee, but it's only DPS. And my melee play style, for in the case of the Jedi Shadow, I think the range is terrible. I think it's a terrible class. It's absolutely, I personally think it's absolutely shitty because of the terrible range and lack of defensive cooldowns. Okay, but sorry for Jedi Shadow lovers or assassins, it's the same. But yes, I was playing a Marauder, which I liked a bit more. I liked it a bit more, but it wasn't like the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut had the defensive cooldowns. It was quite it was difficult to take down, and I think that it compensated for the fact that it used melee instead of ranged attacks. So I thought it was more appropriate, the proportion of defensive cooldowns with the gameplay style, even if I didn't deal as much damage. Though back then no one played Marauder. It was a shitty class as well back then. Nowadays it's a bit more boosted. It's much more boosted. In fact, nowadays it's more OP than it's better than the Juggernaut. But I still think I can make a Juggernaut work. It's just that you need to pick the correct skill tree and everything. It's tricky. It requires a bit more proficiency with the game, but I think I can fix my old Juggernaut. I just need, the thing is that the tactical required is not, you have to craft it. You have to craft that shit. So yeah. Okay, how do you exit this place? So over here. Sorry, I'm so used to Korriban that this shit I only played it once for the sniper. So technically it's the second time only that I'm over here. So back then, you know what they would tell me? Reroll. You have to reroll. Reroll means create another character, start from the beginning, and it took much more time. to level up the classes. So yes, I don't know why they casualized this shit like this. Like, you don't like the class? Well, reroll another one. Reroll another. Ah, it's the banners. Okay, okay. Let's use stupid banners, people. For the sake of experience, okay. And so we remove that stupid marker on the map. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Or do you exit through here? Look at that. Do you exit the map through here? No, it was just a stupid banners. Well, look at that. I got a lot of conquest objectives. I am almost at the end of the Galactic Season Conquest. I think I'm gonna make it, huh? For those of you who don't know, this is shared across all of your characters in your legacy. Your legacy is kind of like shared across all characters. I'm at level 90, and the maximum is 100, I think, right? It's 100 there, level 20 there. And I am, well, yeah, I'm lacking, yeah, I'm lacking the final 10 levels. Though I have 30 something days to complete it, huh? 32 days. I think I will be able to make it. It's just that you need to do conquest objectives. And I may be able to make it. Okay. Oh. Exit the planet. Use your ship to return to Dromund Cassia. But when it says use your ship, it means you cannot. Because otherwise I would just teleport to my stronghold and exit Dromund Cass. Because my stronghold is on Dromund Cass. Precisely, stronghold is a housing system. For those of you watching over at YouTube. So yeah, they cried, they casualized it. How do I exit this stupid planet? God damn it, it doesn't indicate. Nemros Palace, Fathra's Palace. No, but where's the exit? Wasn't it over there? Ah, it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. To the left, to the left. Silly me. It's to the left, people. It's to the left, people. Okay. There we go. There we go, there we go, see. So, as I have been mentioning, it's absolutely disgusting how they casualize all of these games. Then that's why I created my own reverse engineered World of Warcraft server to experience the original mechanics of Wrath of the Lich King, how they were originally in that sense. How they were originally in that sense, before they casualize all of that, all of those. Give me a second, people, because now this sweater is. It's absolutely killing me. Hey, look at that, we got a new ability. I see a dart there, something like a dart. Also, wasn't this the level in which we got our second rule of the skill tree? So, the first one was the one that added fire damage, right? Shock Strike, Ion Pulse, and Explosive Surge trigger Plasma Cell on all affected targets. Reduces the cooldown of Ion Wave by 30 seconds and causes Shock Strike to root its target for 2 seconds. No, but there was another one there. Applies a stack of your damage. Whenever you take damage and still armor is applied. No, but this one, no. Which was the which was? I think it was a passive ability. I think it was some kind of passive ability. We're also getting passive abilities, and you don't even realize. Back then, you would have all of the passive abilities detailed down below. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Which one was the one that caused the passive fire damage? the pacifier damage. This one, I think it was. Ranged weapon attacks have a 30% chance to deal 165 additional elemental damage over 6 seconds. Cannot occur more than once every second. Shock Strike builds a stack of suppressive heat, increasing the damage of your plasma cell by 25% per stack. Lasts 20 seconds. This effect can stack up to 4 times. Okay, Shock Strike was this one. Suppressive heat, increasing the plasma cell. Which one is plasma cell? Do we have it? Plasma cell? Plasma cell. The passive. Okay, it boosts the passive. Increases the damage of plasma cell, and it has okay, so it boosts the passive. Not bad, not bad, not bad. So Shock Strike, this one boosts the passive by 25% per stack. Okay, and it stacks up to 4 times. Up to 4 times. 20 seconds and 4 times. Okay, it boosts the passive damage with each ranged attack. With overloading plasma, causing your next plasma flare or ion pulse to deal 30% more damage. Only 30 seconds. No, this one is better because of the frequency. That one is easy. For now, I don't have any doubts. So, let's travel to Dromund Kaas, people. Let's travel to good, beautiful Dromund Kaas over there. Speak with the Handmaster's assistant. We go back. The fact that you have to manually travel, it's also shitty. Well, let's go. The fact that you have to manually travel like that is also quite shitty, but well. Oh well. Hey, the stream is quite smooth at least, huh? It's quite smooth at least. It's quite smooth. It's quite smooth in that sense. It's quite smooth. I love how smooth it ends up being with the beat rate. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Okay. All right, people. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, I forgot about the crew skills. I have to deploy this droid for those. I have to boost archaeology to then get artifice. To then be able to get artifice. Do I have enough materials for the first sheets that I can craft here? Yeah, look at that. I already have some of the materials. Grade 1 artifact fragment. Okay, let's look for that one then. Grade 1 artifact fragments. There we go. Besides, those should be fun. We can also send Mako. There, boost that shit. Boost that shit. I need a 4th craft. Damn it! 50 minutes and still no combat. This, well, we had a bit, but still.
No, don't touch that.
I think I can fast travel from here. No need to do all of that shit. Handmaster assistant. Let's do that. That'll be faster. Come on, there's a lot of dialogue in this shit. I bet that was the final boss fight of chapter 1. It was way too easy. That was the final boss fight of chapter 1, I bet. Way too easy. Let's boost the... what's the shit? Alcoholics, welcome? What? Alcoholics. Intergalactic social. I don't know if it was on purpose, like the alt, like not your main character. Maturity option. Oh damn it. Okay. Alcoholics welcome, or alcoholics welcome. Soloist returners. Filthy casuals, god damn it. God damn it, what a guild promotion there.
Glad to see you in one piece, Hunter. Is that auction dead and buried?
It is.
The Great Hunt is safe. Looks like the Huntmaster's instincts were right. Talk to me. This was more than a grab and shoot. Did you find out how that slicer got the list? All signs point to blood. His targets were the only ones not on the list.
Shit, sorry.
It's fairly circumstantial. Best keep those accusations to yourself.
Don't worry, I can restart that shit. I wanted to remove the stupid...
Glad to see you in one piece, Hunter. Is
Dialogue
that auction dead and buried?
Yes, it is.
Great. Looks like the Huntmaster's in. Talk to me. This was more than a grab and shoot. Did you find out how that slicer got the list? All signs point to blood. His targets were the only ones not on the list. If that's your only proof, it's fairly circumstantial. Best keep those accusations to yourself. Taro's pretty influential among my people. We've got the target list back. That'll have to do for now. Thanks for taking care of this, Hunter. It was good doing business with you.
Your targets on Tatooine and Alderaan ain't gonna kill themselves. Go get them, pronto.
God damn it. Why is my mouse out of that? It takes my mouse out of my main screen. There we go. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Stay here. Stay here. So, influencing the galaxy, story time. I think I finished chapter 1, right? Or not? No, I would have gotten an achievement, I guess. It has to be the ending of... This has to be the ending of chapter 1. Hang on a second. Let me check on the legacy. On the legacy tab. It has to be the ending of chapter 1. Chapter 2... Ah, right. Yeah, you don't have any evidence that you finished chapter 1. Nice. Well, there is a way. If you log out and log in, but I'm not gonna do that shit. There is a way to verify it. Yeah. Travel to Alderaan, travel to Tatooine. We'll do it much faster. We'll go to Stronghold and from there to... So we don't waste time. We go to Stronghold and from Stronghold, which is kind of like the housing system, we exit to the ship. You can exit to the ship from there. You can also use fast travel, but I don't have it on this character. Alright, now you can also talk to companions at your stronghold. Didn't know that. It didn't work like that for me with HK at least. It was aboard the ship. Looks like the other ones don't need that. Okay, whatever. Mako, instead of talking to me, I need you to get... Which one was it? Because I'm also crafting at the same time, people. I need artifact fragment, and this one has to be the neutral one. So I need artifact fragment. This is how you craft, people. It's absolutely essential. Go artifact fragment, and this one I need the fibrous nightlight solution, which is the neutral element of that combination. Exit to starships. There we go. We deploy them and we keep going. You also get experience from doing that, so it's a triple win. You get experience, you get the crafting skill, and then if you are constant, then you can sell stuff and you get money instead of losing money from deploying those crew skills. Indeed. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know the structure of this game like the back of my hand. So, hey, now you can alter the order. Back then you couldn't. Back then you had to do first Tatooine and then Alderaan, which is precisely what we are going to do. We are not going to alter the order of the planets. 24 to 28, and the other one has to be higher. Alderaan was always higher. 28 to 32. But does it... I know, but it doesn't scale you upwards, huh? Does it? I never tried it in that sense, no. It doesn't scale you if you are way too underleveled. So we'll do them in order, of course.
Uh-oh, Chris is calling on an emergency channel. Better patch her through.
Finally, you're some hard critters to pin down. Ignore my recording for Tatooine, Hunter. Everything's changed. That slicer selling the Great Hunt list started a trend. Somebody told your target he was a marked man. Naturally, he decided to make himself scarce.
I can't wait to get my hands on that Mandalorian snob who did this.
First things first, you got to nail this target before he vanishes. You're after Tiresias Loci, a scoundrel who's been on the galaxy's most wanted list forever.
The Tiresias Loci? That smuggler cheated the Hutt Cartel, Exchange, and Black Sun gangs out of a fortune.
And he's been buying himself out of trouble ever since. 2 days ago, your rival bounty hunter shot down Tiresias' ship over Tatooine, but then lost him in the desert.
That means Tiresias is still here.
There ain't reports of it. The good news is Tiresias is Davaronian. He shouldn't be hard to spot.
That's true. I've seen 2 Davaronians my whole life. They've got red skin and 2 big horns on their heads.
Talk to the spaceport traffic control droid at Mosilla. Find out if any Davaronians have been through there recently.
Spaceport droid Mos Isla. Got it.
Tiresias has a reputation for being slippery. When you catch him, better hold on tight. Good luck, Hunter. Krista out.
It's weird that I'm not getting more companions so far. It's weird. By now I must have gotten at least 1 or 2 more. I don't know why it is that that there haven't been any other companions. It looks weird. Why is it that I am not that the game is not giving me more story companions? Weird. Because they were embedded in the main story, they couldn't have detached them from the main story. They were kind of like embedded into the main story. It's weird that you don't get even a single companion so far. I must have gotten at least 1 more, like... Like, there should be at least 1 more. Oh well. I cannot believe that they removed the rest of your companions from the main story. That would be tragic. Like that would limit your crafting capabilities until you finish the expansion. It's weird that I haven't got any new companions in this level, up to this level. At least 1 more I should have gotten. Don't tell me they also changed this shit. Oh, look at that beautiful spaceport. It's the only way a player would come over here. Look at the attention to detail that they put down there. Oh, it doesn't let you jump down. The attention, I love the attention to detail that how alive the game feels, even like this. It's absolutely fascinating.
I'm scanning databanks. 1 moment, please. Records indicate only 1 Davaronian present at the spaceport. A merchant named Gellar Roing.
Bet you anything Gellar Rowing is an alias for Tiresias Loci.
Where can I find this Davaronian merchant?
Gellar Roing's vessel is awaiting departure clearance in Docking Bay 64. Do you wish for me to contact him?
No.
I want my visit to be a surprise.
Very well, but he is scheduled for takeoff soon. If you hurry, you might catch him.
Thanks. Thanks, droid. As a departures droid, you can find one at every station. He will give you the information you require, I guess. Let's go for another one of those. Hey, she's already level 11. God damn it. That's That's fast.
Perfection is my goal, Master.
It's weird that I haven't that I haven't got any other comps, any other companions so far. In that sense, it's quite weird. It's quite weird.
How long can it take to get departure clearance from this lousy
Davaronian, there you have it.
Stupid locals. You look lost, friend. Can I help you?
Same as Gold, another. It's a companion. I don't know if it was for the Jedi Knight or whatever. It was like that.
Are you Geller rowing? That's right. Rowing's the name. Speeder's my game. You in the market? One of the new T9s, perhaps? Unfortunately, I'm a bit rushed. Look me up on Nar Shadda, won't you? The name's Rowing. That's R-O-I-N-G. You're not going anywhere, smuggler. Easy now. Don't get excited. This is a simple misunderstanding. Shoot, you fools!
Oh, nice. Electric. All right. I shouldn't have sent my healer. I shouldn't have sent my healer to a crew skill quest. No matter. Shouldn't pose a problem for me. I shouldn't have done that. 20 seconds. Let's go.
Stop. I surrender. I got no loyalty to that scum. He left us here to die.
And you obeyed him.
But he never said we'd go up against anything like you.
You picked the wrong employer, pal.
No kidding. I should have stuck to pirating. I don't want any more trouble. I'll tell you everything I know. The Davaronian said a bounty hunter shot down his starship. He walked across the desert to reach Mos Illa. Blasted lucky he made it.
Tiresias has a bad habit of surviving.
Not just that, he can turn around even the worst luck. I've seen it. This bounty hunter caught up to us. Nasty little Rhodian. Before we could draw blasters, the Davaronian cuts a deal. Not only did he buy off the bounty hunter, he convinced him to sell his own starship.
Where did the bounty hunter go after selling his ship to Tiresias?
The Rhodian's celebrating with a private party at a club outside of town. He's thrown around credits like sand. Maybe the Davaronian went there to cut another deal. Please, let me go. This wasn't personal.
If I ever see you again, you're a dead man.
You got it. I'm officially retired. I'm gonna find a ship and sign on as a deckhand.
Kaleo is one of the companions for the Imperial Agent. So Kaleo makes me go around killing all of her ex-boyfriends, but when it comes for her to kill the pit boss, she doesn't. I hate her even more now. Just says he's bored. Nothing like the chat of this game, people. Nothing like the chat of this game. The chat rooms of this game are the best. Never doubt it. Wait until she brings a guy to your ship. Yeah, Kaleo is despicable. She's the perfect example of how you don't want your potential partner, a woman, to be. She's exactly that. She's a ratataki, also not that cute as well. So yeah, pretty much. Okay. Let's do it. Oh hell no. Yeah, she's basically a psycho terrorist. What was this? Tatooine Stronghold, I've been to one. I've been to that one, not my cup of tea. Well, people, welcome to Most Eli. I say Most Eli most of the time because I think it was the original pronunciation or some shit like that. I remember it from some video game. I don't know. It's fuzzy in my memory, but I remember at least some guy saying Most Eli instead of Most Eli or whatever. So yeah, pretty much. Whatever. Who cares? Who gives a shit about that? I don't know why I said that, but yeah, pretty much is what I was used to. Yeah, because I was used to say to say it like that. So, crew skills. Let's deploy these idiots.
Wish me luck.
Let's see if we can do something so we can.
Activity in exchange camp.
Your exacting
We need to
specifications,
find
Master.
out what they're up to.
I only came here for the race. Ah, because there's a stupid event in which you can race a bit and do that shit. But Ahsoka. Ahsoka. Well, god damn it. Ahsoka is one of the best characters ever created in all of Star Wars. Please tell me you don't have to do side quests to get companions. I will Google that for next time. I'll Google that for next time. Please tell me they didn't detach the companions from the main story. That would be a dick move on their part. Please tell me that they didn't detach you getting the companions from doing the main story. Please. Please tell me that. Please tell me that. Please tell me that. Tell me that. Please tell me that. Did I get any other character shitties? Then, which is the... Let me see something. Select title. Hey, what's going on? Well, oh, only that. Oh, I forgot how slow that shit is then. Hired gun. The respectable. Oh, for now, none of the titles is worth a shit. It's worth shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, getting boosted experience. Nice. It should always be like this. Do all of the quests in a cantina so you get double experience boost. Let's go, people. Alright, let's see. It has to be that guy. God damn it. He's paying for everyone's drinks and he's getting prostitutes. Move it or you're all dead.
You let Tiresias Loci live, Vibu? That's not how we do things.
Yako kuchi rati tud muta miskocha. Tula musta wo grani tampio tu pushiwompa. Piska ku palia pitie potenia go.
Being a bounty hunter is about more than making money.
Look at that, people. Lady of Pain. The fuck?
Who's
Fuck.
this lady of
I don't know.
pain? Your wife?
Nice dialogue line. Yeah, Bosca Ponyo Bosca. Yeah, whatever. You're all fucking dead. What's up? Oh, look at that, my comp return. There we go. There you go. Enjoy the retirement. Okay, now I should be able to craft. I love how they finally forced me to to do some killing because they this player is way too much of a pacifist.
Just for you.
he he's playing like a pacifist bounty hunter. Oh, wait, the objective is still over there. I don't even look at that shit. Ah, right. Talk to the Twi'lek dancer.
Don't kill me. I'm just a dancer.
Okay.
I need to find the Lady of Pain. Know where she is?
I performed for her once. She gave me the creeps. The Lady of Pain runs a compound not far from here. Bad part of the desert. You can't miss it.
Perfect.
Does this lady sell starships to desperate fugitives?
Maybe, but I wouldn't want to deal with her. She doesn't care about money. She's into other things. She works for the exchange. They're into a lot of sick stuff. She can't get enough of it.
Okay. Thanks, here's your compensation.
I appreciate the info. Sorry you're out of a job.
No problem. I was thinking about quitting.
Yeah,
Going
do
back
so.
to the family moisture farm.
Yeah, better idea. Better idea to earn money with a decent. Hey, look at that! It's working. With a decent job instead of promoting prostitution and hedonism for society.
The results are much better than they appear, Master. You'll see.
That's the spirit droid. Ah, it's the same as the Imperials than the. Which one was it? Than the Inquisitor.
Just for you.
Hey, we got to grade 2? No, still not. Not yet, not yet. Not yet to grade 2. Okay. But it's working, it's working.
Now would be the perfect time to tell me how great I am.
Okay, Mako. Okay. What am I looking for? Crafting? This is how you originally had to craft people. Like this. Artifact fragment. Let's go. Artifact fragment. Artifact fragment. There we go. That one. Go. Go, Mako. Go, 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 go. Go. What else? There. It's blocked. It's locked. Finally. We get to go through the desert. Kill stuff going through the desert. From completing story class mission. Ah, this is perfect. This is perfect because it doesn't increase experience from killing random enemies. So all of these dialogues one after the other, it actually boosted it correctly. And I didn't even have to kill stuff. Would you look at that, people? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's perfectly calculated, huh? It's perfectly calculated. I bet we'll be able to do Tatooine and Alderaan, both of them, today, at this pace. Look at that. All of those story dialogue quests, I bet you thought, no, but you are not killing enemies, you are not making use of the major XP boost. This class experience was even more effective because I was just completing all of the dialogues between chapter 1 and 2. They gave it to me and I activated it right at the correct moment. But look at that. It was pretty much a free level, a whole free level without shooting a single. Well, I only did one boss, barely shooting any blast of fire in that sense. Okay, at this rate, I think we'll finish. If it's not the next stream, it's the other, but it cannot take me more than that. Like, I know the structure of the story quests of this game like the back of my hand, and pretty much it's only one more batch of planets left. Hoth and then Corellia, and maybe Quesh in the middle, something like that. It's more or less like that. It should be, at least. Yeah, now they unlock automatically. That has changed. And in the meantime, look at that. I'm getting my 4th crafter that I need so desperately for the rest of my characters. I am wondering something. Then I will need to Google it for next time. Did they change the structure of how you get companions through the story quest? Because I by level 24, I should have my second companion or something like that. Could it be that this is the entrance that we are looking for? Entrance? There in the middle of nowhere? Yes. Yes, pretty much. Entrance in the middle of nowhere. I cannot stop to fight people. It's more effective if I make use of the story experience boost. I am worried that I won't get the companions for the crafting. Remember that I need this fourth character for my... Artifice is pretty much the last one that I need, the last crew skill I
Surely I
need
can
for
offer him
crafting.
something, lady. An HK assassin droid? Fresh slaves direct from Ryloth?
I already have those. Stop wasting my time.
Hey, it's the voice actress of Ventress from the Clone Wars, from the original, from 2008. And it's also Ratataki. Ah, what a nice little... Which was
What's wrong, Tiresias? Can't buy
nice
me way out of
cameo
this.
there.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Tiresias? Wait, you're actually... No. Shame on you, you naughty little Davaronian.
It's
Sincerest apologies, lady. Now that you know I'm the justifiably famous Tiresias Loci, you also know my resources. I need you to eliminate this bounty hunter and help me leave Tatooine. I'll pay generously, of course.
Intriguing. But I'd like to hear what this delicious specimen has to offer first.
she also has the same face markings of Ventress precisely. It's the same voice actress and it's the same um the same tattoos. They are like markings for this species as well. So it's actually a reference to Star Wars: The Clone Wars that was released back in 2008, and the game was released back in 2012. Some few years after, and it's the same voice actress. I would recognize that voice anywhere. It's the voice actress of Ventress from 2008 Clone Wars. It's the same. It is the voice. It is the voice. It's this. Okay. I'm good at
What do you
killing.
want dead? I can offer you a bulk discount.
What a wonderfully sweet offer. I have a keen interest in gladiatorial contests. A match is scheduled for today, and I've lost my beloved champion. Whoever fights as my new champion could ask any favor of me.
These people look like fucking criminals, and as I've said, people, I'm playing Imperial Trooper storyline in that sense. I'm playing Imperial Trooper storyline in that sense, which is my own. So they are criminals. They are doing illegal stuff here. I bet they are doing all of that shit. They are promoting slavery and prostitution. So I'm sorry, people. For me, I know I'm so boring. I'm extremely boring. It's just that I should have been. It's not you people. I am the problem. I should have been born 500 years ago. That's the thing. So these fucking criminals, they need to be both
I'm
dead.
not here to make deals. I'm here to kill Tiresias Loci and anyone standing in my way.
Try it and I'll disintegrate him. That means no bounty for you. I suggest one of you take my deal.
This isn't exactly a fair negotiation, lady. I'm no gladiator.
I'm sure one of these men would fight in your place for a price.
So
All right. I'll make anyone who fights for me obscenely rich. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Someone is bound to take us all for bounty hunter. Won't you be my champion?
Mess around with me and your history. Let's not waste any more time.
Now, don't be too quick. It disappoints the fans.
what fans?
Lady, this is a terrible mistake. Don't be a fool.
Oh yeah, I would listen to him.
Guards, take Tiresias away and remove his tongue.
You don't need it, do you?
I'd prefer it if you left him intact.
Very well. I suppose he's your property, assuming you win the match. Put Tiresias someplace safe, guards, and watch him. He's slippery.
You haven't heard the last of me. Either of you.
Your opponent is in the next room. When you're ready, meet me and my guest there.
Okay. Let's see what we have in store here. Okay. Artifact fragments. Artifact fragments. Good. It's getting. I'm getting more missions. Good. No, not this shit. This shit. Good. 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 I'm beginning to worry about the if they changed the way you get companions at this rate. Okay, so I am stuck in here in this phase. 30 minutes. I don't think I'll need Mako for this shit. Okay, psychos. I'm killing everyone this time.
Wonderful. Feldargan, this is my new champion.
A bounty hunter? Borga will rip this fool limb from limb, won't she, my beautiful boy? Save it for the match, Borga.
May the best fighter win.
Yeah, as I've said, it's not you people. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem. I'm clearly the problem. But as soon as I have the opportunity, none of these fucking slaver criminals are getting out alive of this planet. You could see that I was that I have been quite compassionate for a lot of people that needed money, that had kind of like problems, and they would be killed by the Great Hound, by the Great Hunt, or whatever the fuck, or all of that shit. But for criminals, not a single one is coming out alive of this planet. Thank you to the story for giving me the opportunity to finally kill them.
I seem to have outdone myself last time. I think you'll be quite pleased.
Damn it. No, you have to be kidding me. Stun? I don't even have a stun yet. There we go. Without companion, look at that. I added an extra bit of difficulty and dramatism to the situation. Involuntarily, of course. Yeah, I progress faster this way. I wanted to see you to see the animation. Look at this. There we go.
Borga! My sweet, precious boy!
Delicious. For a moment, I thought Borga might kill you, Bounty Hunter.
Thanks for the concern, I guess, but you're all dying.
It's sweet of you to care, lady.
I always care when death and dismemberment are involved.
This isn't over, lady. I'll return. With a new champion!
Okay.
I hope so, Phil. Our little gatherings always make my day. Kisses.
What now? He escaped. The other one escaped.
Lady, Tiresias escaped. He hit us with a stun grenade.
I watched you disarm him. Where did he get that weapon?
One of his horns was fake. He hid the grenade inside it.
No.
Please, don't cripple me. It's not my fault.
One of his horns was fake. Imagine you can do. He takes out the horn. He grabs the grenade. He puts it back. Throws it. Could it be that he's actually an SIS Republic agent, Renald Gold? Could it be that this is linked to the Republic Guardian story? You lost my payment. You die.
No, Tiresias? I'm about to kill everyone in this place.
Yes.
Starting with you, lady.
Yes.
I find your threats intoxicating. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. One of you saw where Tiresias went, yes?
He stole a swoop bike and a hyperdrive regulator. He could be anywhere by now.
Okay.
But I'll find him. The swoop bikes all have homing beacons. A precaution against thieving Jawas and stupid guards. I'll consult my tracker. Ah, there he is. The stolen swoop bike stopped at these coordinates in the deep desert. I'm not sure why Tiresias took a hyperdrive regulator. Unless he's trying to repair a starship.
He won't be fixing anything when I'm done with him.
I recommend breaking his fingers and moving up from there. Have fun.
What? I cannot kill all of them here. They are fucking criminals. I want to kill the criminals. God damn it. Guess you can't. I guess what I'm doing has limitations. Behaving like an Imperial soldier
Leave everything to me, Master.
in
I
this
will not
stupid
disappoint you.
bounty hunter stuff.
Not to have too much fun without me.
Leave everything to me, Master. I will not disappoint you.
Better let this guy do it so he gets a bit more of influence there. Oh, well, whatever. Well, that looks good, I guess. Better than nothing. Can you imagine? It could be Renald Gold, that one, that Republic agent there. Can you imagine that he grabs the horn? Because that one had kind of like only one horn, huh? The one I'm talking about. The companion of the Republic Guardian. Or was it for the bounty hunter, that class? Well, whatever. Maybe he is the companion. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Could it be that he is the companion? He could be that gold.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
Perfect. There we go. Look at how it's already increasing. Shouldn't take long. Should be able to speed craft.
I'll be done in no time.
I should be able to speed craft in a matter of minutes once I get the rest of the companions. Just tell me they didn't change the way you get them. Because it's weird that we still haven't got any other. I should end up with 6. I should end up with 6 companions by the end of the story class to craft. Scam. Ignore, 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 ignore. Ignore all of those idiots. Right, I cannot enter the story quest. Disengage. Thank you. Thank you. Well, here I won't be able to disengage that easily. What are they? Level 27. Oh, right, it's already getting out of hand. I better get some experience. I already I already played around with this shit enough. There we go. Block line of sight. Kill there. Aha, we got one more there. Shit. Yeah, I should have brought my comp. Shit. Bad. Shit. Yeah. The grid of artifice, people. It's the grid of artifice. I'm playing without comp and shit gear. And 3 levels above me and under leveled. So I think I could have created worse conditions. And I also grabbed 2 groups. By the way. I also aggroed 2 groups. All right, let's play. Let's farm a bit. Let's farm a bit. Let's be civilized for a second. You're right. You're right. There we go. All right, let's complete the bonus there. Let's complete the bonus. Let's complete the bonus. Let's reload. Well. Some people's lot. That's another reference to Anakin, I guess. Look at that. There's the other shit, the other part of the skill tree. This one, the talent. Yeah, this is good because this one can only happen every 30 seconds. This way kind of like constant. And this one is just AoE. No. Yeah, it's Reynolds Gold. I can confirm you. I think you're going to see a plot twist.
Tiresias? Not with all those dune rats nipping at my heels. Thanks for clearing that up.
Good, this is the next comp.
You're sure she's ready for takeoff?
I've checked the calculations 4 times, Master, with shields at minimum.
Right, good enough. That just leaves our friend here to deal with. If you want something done right, do it yourself. Open fire, NK!
Yeah, you generally don't fight right, Miko. You returned right when I needed you. Perfect. Damn it. Here. They're level 28. Oh, now this is going to be a challenge. Ah, it also taunts him. I didn't know. I could have used that. I know, because I need an active companion. Yeah, you generally don't fight your companions when you recruit them. This one is just stupidly aggressive. No, you see the other one. You see the other one. You see the other one.
Perfection is my goal, Master.
You go for the other one. No. Artifact fragments or whatever. I know, but they're gray. Shit, I should go back for new schematics to the fleet. Go.
I can handle that.
Yeah, go. Go.
All right, you win. Let's cut a deal.
Good. You're quite an optimist.
Hope springs eternal for you, doesn't it?
Everything is negotiable. Everything. This is the famous Star of Alderaan, the most valuable gem in the galaxy.
No, Master. Not your most prized possession. We must fight.
Quiet, NK. We'd never stand a chance. Alderaan's royal family would pay a fortune to get this gem back. Let me go, and it's yours.
Do I look that gullible to you?
You can't blame a guy for trying. Take the gem anyway. I insist. Girls, come to It's dinner time.
Go on, man. This is the guy that you remember. This guy, right, from Knights of the Fallen Empire. You remember? I think this is the companion. Okay, this is the companion. It's a bit slower than the Jedi Knight and Warrior. I think the Jedi Knight and Warrior, the Jedi Knight and Warrior and the Sith Inquisitor, I think they get their comps earlier than this. A bit
Come
early.
on, you hunk of junk! Blast! I knew there wasn't enough power to take off.
End of the line, Tiresias.
You are the toughest, most persistent bounty hunter I have ever met. I only have one thing left to say. Give me a job. Spare my life, and I'll dedicate it to working for you. How's that sound?
Like a lie?
Why in the galaxy would I ever believe you, Tiresias?
I'm tired of running. My fortune's gone, but I'm still hunted. I want Tiresias Loci dead as much as anyone. What if I told you there's a duplicate of yours truly? A replica identical in all respects. Even a bioscan couldn't tell the difference.
Is this duplicate on your ship?
Why else would I have come back here? That duplicate was my escape plan. My duplicate is already dead, frozen in carbonite. Just pretend he's me. Once I'm declared dead, I'll put my legendary skills, savvy, and contacts at your disposal. Imagine what we could accomplish.
What's to keep you from disappearing at the next spaceport?
I'm deeply wounded by your mistrust, yet reassured by your intelligence.
I hate to say it, but having him on our team might be useful.
I swear I'll never run. I'm safer as your servant than as a fugitive. Even if I did escape, you'd just find me again. Honestly, who wants to have this conversation twice?
Alright. Alright.
Someone of your talents might come in handy.
Nice.
Fantastic. You won't regret this. There's my duplicate. Should only take a few moments to thaw him out.
Looks convincing.
We need to make it look convincing. A couple of blaster shots should sell it. You want to do the honors?
Right between the eyes?
Oh, my stars! I'm glad we decided to work together. Let me collect my gear and we can be on our way. So, I'll need a new name. After all, Tiresias Loci is dead. And what do you think of the name Galt Renault?
Galt.
It's a nice ring to it.
Galt suits you just fine, scumsucker.
Then Galt Renault it is. A fine new name for an exciting new life.
Until
Why
nice.
don't you and Galt spend a little time getting to know each other? I'll see you two back at the ship.
Lead on, my fearsome friend. Galt is ready for action.
Alright. 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 There we go. And there I got my question answered. Perfect. Huh? Okay. Magnificent. But I still cannot use him for crew skills. Use your ship's intercom. Oh, that's it? That's pretty much it? You have to go back to your ship? That's it? Oh, that was quite fast. Since I only need to use my ship's intercom, then I can do this. That will be much faster. At blazing speed. At blazing speed, people. At blazing speed. Yeah, hope it's not broken. Okay, so at least I get the the comp for crew skills. But I swear to you people, the other classes get them faster. Like the Sith Inquisitor has kind of like Talos by level 20, I think, or even less, even less. I think it is, and the Warrior gets Queen, Malabai Queen. They are they are like at much lower level. Like this is a bit harder because it's a class that not everyone plays at the beginning. Like,
Oh, hey, you're back. And is that who I think it is?
Galt Renault, at your service. Your friend here has hired me at wages I couldn't possibly refuse.
Did I miss something? Are we giving up on the Great Hunt?
Absolutely not. In fact, your friend here just killed the notorious scoundrel Tiresias Loci.
All right, what's going on here?
We're still in the Great Hunt, and our target on Tatooine is dead.
Whatever you two worked out, I'm fine with it, as long as we're still in the Great Hunt. You're all right with the galaxy's most notorious outlaw roaming free on your ship?
I think you'll find Galt Renault's criminal record is spotless. I'm no trouble at all.
Feel free to keep an eye on him.
You can bet I will. I've got all sorts of surveillance gear on this ship. Galt.
I promise to always turn so you only see my good side.
This hunt turned out a lot stranger than I expected. I've had enough of scorching heat and sand. What do you say we check out our next target?
alright. So this one was the target. Your companion was the target. So convenient. So convenient. Holo terminal. Done.
I eliminated Tiresias Loci.
Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I scan it.
Let's see.
What do you know? The body's bioscan matches. You just made a lot of crime bosses very happy. I've got a positive on the rival kill as well. Credit for Tiresias Loci goes to you. Stay hungry, Hunter.
Okay. Oh, an experience boost. Perfect. Look at that shit, and I barely did anything. Look at that shit. Oh, you also get a lot of conquest. Oh, it's triply positive. Look at that. We're almost level 90. It's triply positive. Okay. The Alderaan target. Let's go. We should be done in no time. This is so fast. I will have it done by in 8 hours. Chapter 2? Chapter 2? Could it be? If it weren't for the dialogue lines.
I've always heard how beautiful Alderaan's supposed to be.
It is.
Figures I'm gonna see it in the middle of a war. At least he'll still be pretty in the holos.
What happened here? What happened here? Because I think I was way too fast. There we go. What about now,
I've always
Michael?
heard how beautiful Alderaan's supposed to be.
It is.
Figures I'm gonna see it in the middle of a war. At least he'll still be pretty in the holos.
No, it is. It is beautiful. One of the most beautiful planets.
Don't sweat it. When we win the Great Hunt, I'm taking you on vacation.
Really? You mean that?
We'll work out the particulars as soon as the job's done.
I'm holding you to that. Time to find out who's standing between us and a week on the beach.
Welcome to Alderaan, Hunter. Former tourist capital of the core worlds. Your target here is a nobleman nicknamed the Durasteel Duke on account of his knack for staying alive. Over 1,000 assassins have come and gone trying to put the Duke to bed, but he ain't met you yet, right? He was last seen with House Gerard. They're guests of House Thule, so that's a good place to start looking. Good luck.
Nice textures on that
Gloss
weapon.
over the details. Lucky for you, I'm on the job.
They retextured most of the lightsabers and the weapons, but the old models like that one for the story quests are still like this. I don't know what's someone talking in a ship, because in a ship you are generally alone. I don't think you can even let players go on your ship.
Fill me in. I hate surprises.
In
Indeed.
a nutshell, when the Queen of Alderaan died a few years ago, the head of the military declared himself king. That didn't go over so well. Now the three largest houses are fighting over the crown.
I'll need to know more about the major players.
Well, General Boris Olgo is the guy who declared himself king, and his house controls most of Alderaan's former military.
Uh-huh.
House Organa and House Thule are Olgo's only real opposition, but they're at each other's throats too. Basically,
Okay.
Organa wants Alderaan back in the Republic, and Thule came back from exile with the help of the Empire. Hey, are you getting all this?
Nice job. Thorough.
Oh, this is kind of old news. I had plenty of time to read up on the trip here. Come on. We better go pay a visit to SWTOR. Oh, and one last thing. The nobles of Alderaan are different. They think they're untouchable, and they won't be impressed, no matter how big a gun you wave around.
Okay. Look at that, people. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that so much. And we also get influence that will be more effective for our crew skills. Okay. That's Alderaan, pretty much. As you can see, it looks like our planet Earth. It's quite nice. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We get our comps. We get our companions right there. Magnificent. We get our comps, and now what do I need? And now we do this shit.
Better than getting shot at.
Indeed. You go do that, and you go do this.
Is my goal, Master.
And you go do this. 1 minute 58. Good. The more influence I have, that's why I sometimes pick some dialogue choices, the more efficient they are at doing the crew skills. The less time it takes to complete the quest. The crew skill task. It's not a quest technically. Umbra, how's it going? How's it going? Sorry to you too that I'm not playing Drakensang Online today. That I know you will love the game so much. Patrick was some minutes ago that also he was waiting for Drakensang Online. That one on Tuesdays. You are lucky you are not playing Drakensang Online today. Why? Why? No, why? Because it sucks your life and consumes all of your attention forever in some kind of a curse, and you end up dying playing the game kind of like as a skeleton on your PC. They fucked up the game with the update today. That's why I was getting connection errors on Tuesday. I was getting connection errors on Tuesdays, Umbra. Anyways, huh? I was getting those. Well, I think you saw one by the end of the stream. I think you actually saw one by the end of the stream. There, yes, I do this game, which is my favorite game of all time, on Thursdays, and Drakensang Online on Tuesdays. Then I will eventually switch this one. The abilities don't work half of the time, or half of the times each time you use them. They don't work half of the time. Okay. So broken. I think you saw one the other day by the end of the stream. It didn't. You use the ability. You get a cooldown. You see the animation, but don't get any effect. No, well, there. That's a mess. That's a mess. So you click. You get the cooldown. It does the animation, but no effect. It doesn't damage the enemy. Okay. Damn it. Well, yeah, well, precisely. Well, I was precisely mentioning, and it's even on the abilities that have a 1 minute cooldown. Oh, darn it. Well, yeah, I was getting some connection issues last time at the beginning of the stream. Precisely, Patrick, who was at the beginning of the stream, saw one at the beginning of that previous stream, and then you saw one by the end of it. You and District saw it. That I got disconnected again. When I switched maps, for example. Well then, Umbra, this is Star Wars: The Old Republic. Sorry that I'm not playing it today. That I know you all love me playing Drakensang, but as I said, I'm a variety streamer, and precisely I stream several games. Then I switch this one, and I will move on to another one. One of the ones that I recommended, for example, the other day, which was The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. So I'm playing as a tank, and I'm getting fucked by this update. I need some abilities to actually survive. Don't even touch Drakensang Online until they fix it. Oh well, that is valuable information if Patrick returns that he also loves the game, and he was going to go play it, I assume, or at least wanted to watch me play it. Well, no worries. I'll do it on Tuesday, unless it's completely broken. Don't touch it until they fix it. Well then, I can present you my favorite game of all time. This is my Drakensang Online. This is a Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's It's a continuation of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. It's a continuation. This is the one that we were talking about with the viewer the other day with Bane Death, that he and me we played this game. I'll say it like that. I used an ability 10 times, and out of 10 times, 9 times it didn't work. I saw your clip of this game, yeah, the one that I linked the other day, and it's like World of Warcraft, but with Star Wars. Um, it's a continuation of Knights of the Republic 1 and 2, and it's basically before the movies, before the famous movies, some 3,000 years before, just so you know more or less. The and basically it's free to play. It's free to play. You have to sub just 2 months, $50 each, to, let's say, finish if you want to get into the end game content and crazy PvP and everything. But for the main story, it's completely free. It's completely free, and for example, it's like a Bioware game. If you like Mass Effect, Knights of the Republic, all of those, it's like that. For example, it's my favorite game of all time. What could I say about it that I haven't done in the previous 16 days of analysis and all of the times I've mentioned it? Like, look at this. This is like Mass Effect.
Abominable.
It inherited all of BioWare's amazing dialogue choice system and and perks in that sense. Uh, Damn it, there we go. It inherits all of those. I like World of Warcraft, Dragon's Sang Online, Tibia, Metin. Metin is the one that Dragon that when I was playing Dragon's Sang, Flying Energies mentioned. And like the, I have well, for those I have World of Warcraft and Black Desert Online. I have offline reverse engineered servers of those, mostly those games. Well, it's like World of Warcraft. Imagine this is like a skin of World of Warcraft with some Bioware elements. But yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Nice place you got here.
Well, in the case of World of Warcraft, as I said, I created my own reverse engineered server because I wanted to experience the update of Wrath of the Lich King as it was originally back in the day.
Ah, true. As you can see, your arrival is imposing.
I cannot
upon our
stream them,
hospitality. You must
but I
leave
have those,
now
if you
and
like.
use the servants' exit. People would talk if they saw someone of your ilk here.
If you like the gameplay of World of Warcraft, then but well, probably you joined guilds or those things. I don't know how to reverse engineer servers at all. I also don't know. You just use repacks. You use repacks. They have. You know why I use them? First of all, because I enjoy the mechanics more than anything, and my online experience is through this game. This one is kind of like official one. But in the case of those, except the Black Desert Online, which I'll grant that one was a bit difficult even if you used a repack. In the case of World of Warcraft, for example, you can do the raids on your own. Once it's offline, you can mod it, and you can use a mod that scales the health, damage, and all of the variables of a raid. Or, for example, you can solo the Lich King to a single player game, single player experience, for example. So in the case of World of Warcraft, it's amazing. You can play the old classic version. Besides, before they changed the map with Mists of Pandaria and all of that things, and all of those things. I'm bad at reverse engineering. No, but you don't reverse engineer. That's why I wanted to the other from Dragon's Den Online servers. No, not reverse engineering. You don't need to. There are repacks. There are repacks online that allow you to do so. You can if as long as you don't show them publicly or make the server public, it's basically you doing your own stuff with the client that you paid, because you paid for the original game, like we all have. You kind of like I paid for the subscription. And then I said no, I don't like this update. I don't like this shit. And I said, well, I'm going to mod an offline version of it. In that sense, you don't need to reverse engineer. Developers have done it for all of us pretty much, because they had the same problem
I'm just
before.
here on business.
Pretty
Ladies
much.
and gentlemen, please return to the festivities. I will have a few words with our esteemed guest here. You the boss around here? You could put it that way, yes. You aren't seriously considering dealing with this thug? Uncle, please.
Well, not
I
with
have a
Drakensang
situation
Online.
well in
Yes,
hand.
that's XD.
Return to
That's
the
what
festivities.
happens.
This is
Well,
not a
with my
request.
favorite game, which is this one, as the same happens. There aren't any
I believe
servers
I know
to
why you're
get
here,
it. That's the case.
but
That's
this
the
is a
case. That's the
discussion
case.
best held in
That's the
private.
case. That's the case.
Please wait in my
Well,
office. I'll be right with you.
as I said, with this, that is my favorite game of all time. The same happens, but thankfully, at least with World of Warcraft, um, you can. At least with World of Warcraft. This one, the day I've already said it, always. The day I have kind of like a version like the Lich King of my favorite update of this game is 2.99999 before 3.0. The day they do that, I think I'll cry, because it's not yours technically. You're just renting a license up until this point. I could sit with Wireshark and analyze the packets, but as I said, no, reverse engineering is not for a single person. For those of you who don't know, people, no, Umbra, it's not for a single person. They were entire teams of already proficient developers that were also
Can you help me or not?
probably even paid to do it. No, you have to wait until a team does it, and then you can mod on top of it. No, of course, no. It's almost impossible, because you have to intercept the packages that the
A minor noble claims to have a lead on the Duke. However, he insists on meeting in person, which I'm not willing to do.
you have to
Instead,
intercept
I will
and
employ
understand
you.
the packages that communicate the structure of the tables of the server, the calls with the client, and that's not something that only one person can do, regardless of the case. They were always teams. In the case of World of Warcraft, of Lineage 2, of all of those, and then they released a repack for normal people to 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 just play it,
You're expecting a double
in that
cross.
sense.
It's possible. Either way, I'm certainly not
But
going
but
out
yeah,
into that
yeah.
bullshit.
Generally, that's
None
what
of
I
my
do. I have
relatives
this
can
one
be
as my
trusted.
main
I can't
MMORPG,
expect you to navigate the intricacies of our society, but I can give
and
you
then
the
for the
authority
rest of
to
the
negotiate on my
MMORPGs, I
behalf.
use
From this
offline
point on,
servers.
you will
In that
act as
sense,
House Gerard's advocate, a role of honor. Come. I
when
will
it's
walk you through
possible.
the appointment
When it's
ceremony.
not, of course, that's the problem. I still remember when if those packets would have been similar to mine, then that wouldn't be as hard. But yeah, the world isn't perfect. No, it's difficult. It's difficult. No. If the pack would have been similar to it, no. It's not. No, it's not. It's not that simple. No. Like,
Just set up this deal. The
it
dude's
takes
not
a
getting any
team.
deader.
It takes a team.
You have a point.
It takes a
Let us
team
move with
generally.
haste.
But
It
yeah,
is customary for
you have to
information
intercept
be
the
double
packages
encrypted in these
like that is,
transactions.
and it takes
So
years,
Lord
huh?
Malthus must
You
enter
remember
his
the
half of the key before you check the
Wildstar?
data.
I like
I'll
Dragons
let
Online, but
Malthus
it's
know
missing
you'll
some
arrive at
things
his encampment
for me, so
soon.
I'm making my own game
Be on
similar
your
to
best
Dragons
behavior.
Online. But to the well, that's amazing. That's amazing. But besides, that's quite talented. That's quite talented. Starting doing your game at, at, at such young age, doing your own game. Like, I develop software, but I do web pages. Like, you know, I've already done law career and English teaching, so for me it was like that. So yeah, it's a well, it's an incredible talent you got there. But in the case of Dragon's Angle Online, no, remember the case I was going to cite the case of Wildstar, for example. I don't like working on web. You don't like it. You don't like that one. You don't like it. You know, yeah, I like it. I like it. The front end. I do the front end of the pages. I do the front end basically. The user interface for those of you who don't know. I'm bad at it as well and failed my exam with HTML. Well, that's what I do. HTML, JavaScript, and PHP. I didn't do it because it's way too old. I do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and on top of that, I'm training as I work as well. React. I'm doing React. I'm doing React, and that's what I do. Then now they have Node.js, so I will have to also get to Node.js. So yeah, I'm in progress. But well, it's my third career in my defense. But took it again lately, so I think I should get my technician degree soon. Haven't worked with React at all. No, I don't have it. I don't have degree. I am just first. I do have a lawyer's career. I finished it with a very high score. I didn't like it. I am an English teacher. I don't do. I don't work as a lawyer. I work as English teacher. That I always liked it. And now, thanks to some years ago, the software development that is more that it pays better. That it pays better in that sense. So now I have both of them. That's why I can only stream 2 days a week, I guess. But yeah. In that sense, quite pleased.
Stop right
It's
where you are. You have
much
no
better
rank.
in my experience.
Etiquette dictates that no one below my rank is permitted within 10 paces of my person without my express consent.
Yes.
Used to be 5 paces. I suppose the war is making people jumpy.
Wait, you are the advocate of House Gerard? Outrageous. I would not trust the likes of you to scrub my sewage, let alone deliver vital correspondence.
See how important the voice acting is in how they created the immersive experience of this game. See how the nobles have a distinctive uh, British accent in a clear way, consider it's a Texan studio in which they try to kind of like replicate um, a worldview of how sophisticated that British accent always sounded, um, especially medieval times in comparison to now, how sophisticated it sounded, uh, precisely with those. You're an English teacher, then I feel sorry for you for reading my message. No, why? No, why? 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 No, no problem. Yes, I'm an English teacher. I'm an English teacher. I teach English even to natives, even to natives. For example, you can have, because my English is ass. No, why? No problem, no problem, no problem. I'm I started at 7. That's why it's just a matter of practicing and perfecting it. No, but I'm as I've said, I teach natives because maybe sometimes I don't know. You have imagine a guy from the United States, an American, who has a British wife or something like that, and for example there are differences in words and they want to learn that, and yes, sometimes I teach natives from time to time. Then the majority are English speakers of other languages, here in Argentina. In case you don't know, an Argentine is basically an Italian who speaks Spanish because we are former Spanish colony, but culturally more than 50% we are Italians. In fact, I have Italian citizenship. I vote in the European elections. I vote in Italian elections. I can go to Italy and remain there indefinitely if I wanted to, or any country of the European Union. But I am from Argentina. Basically, we are basically Italians who we were born in here. Is the biggest Italian diaspora, Argentina, outside of Italy itself. So yeah, and yeah, I teach English. I teach English. That's what I did originally. Then I went to law school. Didn't like it at all.
Are we gonna
And
deal or what?
Honor dictates
now
this message
software
must stay
development
in my care
much
until I give it
better.
to someone of rank, not
I
a
started
trained
at a similar
Franker.
age, but mostly
I
Minecraft.
have
Never
here
tried to
tokens of
learn English
respect
in
for my
school. I
peers.
just
Submission
learned
for
by talking
page. Deliver
with
them and earn a
people in
clean
games.
roll of
Well,
honor.
Well,
I can speak
it will give you an edge because it will give you fluency in that sense that no, I was the other way, kind of like former education and then well, it is true that I've improved since I started streaming like this because talking for 4 hours constantly and chatting with people like this, it gives you a fluency
I'm not your error
that
boy.
that I didn't get
You're
with my
less
former
than that,
education.
if
I can
anything.
say that if you watch my
This is why
very
we
first
don't trust the
streams,
ill-bred with
it
even
is true that
husks
I
of
was
meaning.
right out of law school,
If
so
you're
I
here
was in a
forever, we will not
3 year
prove yourself.
hiatus
Have no reason to further tolerate your presence.
from my last English exam, so I didn't have practice. But you can see I have compared them, my very first streams some 4 years ago over at YouTube, and now and it has helped me with the fluency when handling
Give me the
chatting with
tokens so I can
several
get this
people.
over with.
What I had
Present the
was
tokens to the Thule
the
members of
base.
each
I had
outpost,
kind
like
of
so,
like
and
the
do not
proper
dare speak to them.
the
If I don't receive
basics
word
of
from them in short
not the
order, you
basics.
may consider our
I got a bit of
business a no.
fluency because I'm speaking
Unalloy
English
now,
daily.
and
Well,
mind
like
your
that, like
betters.
that, like that, exactly. If you speak it daily, you get a fluency that not even books can give. Yeah, even more if you live in an English-speaking country. But no, most of us English speakers of other language, we don't. But the thing is that I've noticed that it gives you a fluency uh, that not even books can potentially give you
Task
in that
just for
sense.
you. Oh,
Like
perfection, Master.
I had, but I have but I have mixed accent, and I don't, and my accent isn't mixed. I took accent elimination classes. I suppress it as much as I can, but still, some native speakers would say that I have a quite stressed accent in comparison to a natural one. Others do say it's completely natural. It depends which one. Generally, American viewers uh, tend to think to think that I have a completely natural accent by now. But for example, um, viewers from New Zealand, I had one from New Zealand, one of my first viewers, and from Australia generally do think it's extremely stressed, like clearly accentuated European. They told me specifically in that sense, but American ones say completely natural. So it depends on who also interprets it in that sense. Objectively speaking,
Another
um,
gift. Savorin must be desperate for my good
technically
opinion. If there's nothing else, I have duties to attend to.
it should be South Eastern British because it's technically in my school was Cambridge instead of Oxford or others, I guess. But but yes, yeah, pretty much. It will depend how much you are able to suppress it by the end of it, and also who interprets it. I spoke with a lot of people from different nations. They had their own accent while speaking English, and I just kind of absorbed them. Yeah, it's what happens. It's what happens. For example, I absorbed the accent of my teacher, of my teacher, my main teacher, and then the very first times I watched YouTube videos, generally from the US. So yeah, you absorb it. You absorb it because it works like this. The I tell this to my students precisely. The brain precisely absorbs or interprets. It decompiles, let's say, the information much faster unconsciously than what you are consciously trying to achieve learning. So it's much faster, so it already got the accent before you could rationalize it. But then,
This is
Umbra,
sufficient, I
you will be
suppose.
able to
I'll
rationalize
send
it if
word
you
to
keep
Malphus that
going,
his
and you will be
contribution
able
did
to
not go
suppress
unnoticed.
and correct it if you practice enough. Then you are able to suppress and correct it, and then you can consciously reproduce even several accents. For example, sometimes I can make it sound more American, or more British, for example. For example, with the number uh, 33. 33, that pronunciation is distinctively American. Well, if you say 33, is distinctively British. Generally, in British, the R is suppressed and the T is more accentuated. Those small details, advanced details, you can end up rationalizing them and replicating them depending on the situation. For example, meanwhile, me completely avoiding practice. No, practice English. It will help you with everything in life in that sense. Not only reading, because this happens to a lot of people who learned or like you did first through kind of like a practical experience, then then trying to dive into it. Generally, that's what happened at practice, because otherwise you have a great opportunity. You have a great opportunity, and then you lose practice. It happened to me when I had to go to law school because I had to do it. And you can see it in my first streams, my accent is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. For example, I say character instead of character, a classic mistake that I simply made because it had been some 3 years since I had practiced in the first streams. So yeah, honestly, I think my reading and writing in English isn't that bad, and I'm even writing my own stories in English. That's a perfect way to practice. That's another thing. What happens to people never stop doing that, because I've seen it in a lot of students that started like that, as I've said, with a practical experience, and then the the formal education. They have the problem that they know how to read, but then they have problems first writing, as you say, but even worse doing this what I'm doing right now, like constantly talking, like talking with complete fluency is the most difficult in that sense. It should be in that order. Once you master how to read, you understand everything you read, then you need to write. And once you can write complete essays, like complete texts, practice talking, because it will be the most difficult. For example, watching a YouTube video completely in English can be difficult for the first time. It will be, and depending on. Here's a short part of story I wrote. I kind of like it. Give me a second. Give me a second because they will kill me. Now I read it. But it's an amazing tactic, huh? Never stop doing it because it's an amazing practice. Oh wait, yeah, it has a limit. The text, the Twitch text. Sadly, it has a limit. It shouldn't be like that. Hang on a second. I don't want to. The respawn point is way too far away. Hang on a second. Here's a short part of the story I wrote. Right? I kind of like isekai genre of anime, and I decided to write a book like that. I don't know what the genre is. I'm not very familiar with anime. Oh wait, well, Katori is a high school student living in Himeji. He's a quiet, unremarkable teenager, the kind of person most people don't even notice. He often feels invisible. Since childhood, he has carried a sense of being a burden to his parents. Even when he brought home good grades, he always saw them exhausted and struggling. Oh, it's a sad story. Well, it's not a sad story technically. It's a story of struggle and progression technically. His father, Onako, worked long hours on construction sites. His mother, Sakura, stayed at home taking care of him and his little sister, Neta. Financial struggles weighed heavily on the family, leaving little room for comfort or self-care. No, your writing is amazing. I can tell you that that style of writing is amazing. Well, he dies in the first chapter. Oh god, I mean, why so sad? Why so sad? Why so sad? I don't like sad stories. But the quality of the writing is amazing. Like that. The quality of the writing is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I see that you dominate the time tenses, it's not really that sad. He revives. I love stories in which the person revives as well, because it defiles one of them. It defiles one of the most. It defies. Sorry, it defies one of the um, most terrible aspects of mankind, which is death. So I love stories in which the protagonist revives. Those are my favorite. Those are my favorites. The Isekai genre is based on death and reincarnation in other universes being summoned to one. Ah, okay, 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 okay. Yeah, not very. In terms of anime, I'm not that much. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, that one is perhaps a bit too old for yeah. I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I love it. I loved it. Yu-Gi-Oh, the best. Then of course Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. Pretty much those three, very mainstream, quite mainstream. I think the most mainstream out of all of them, but no, nothing else. As for the rest, I like more Western cartoons, except for those except for Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto. And Naruto, the first part, the not Shippuden in that sense. I watched about 600, 700 series. God damn it. God damn it. Well, they are better than what it's shown on TV nowadays. That's for sure. That's much better in that sense. Nowadays, have you watched Umbra any Western cartoon, any modern Western cartoon? The quality has went to shit. I don't know if you agree, Umbra, but any Western cartoon compared to the ones that we grew up with, even anything before the 2010s, I feel there was a huge drop of quality, except very specific exceptions. Unfortunately, I watched some. I saw some. Yeah. I had the misfortune of checking out on something. A tragedy. And you know that Western cartoons were good back then. Huh? I can recommend you some because you mentioned to me that you watch a lot of anime, which would be Eastern cartoon. It's the Eastern version of cartoons, people. Um, I can recommend you some that are amazing. Samurai Jack, for example. Samurai Jack, you won't regret it. You'll see how good Western animation can be. Star Wars: The Clone Wars from 2008, my personal second favorite. My favorite is Samurai Jack. Um, but there are many more. Generator Rex. Generator Rex is amazing. Generator Rex. Well, to be honest, I'm kind of into romances. Ah, you don't like action ones. Okay. No problem, no problem, no problem. You like, if you like that, I cannot help you in that sense. Well, the ending of Samurai Jack is about the final season. Is about it. It's about that. Only the final season. The other four are not. The other four are not. Damn it. Yeah. Well. Well. In that sense, I cannot help you with that genre. But yeah, no, the only actually I watched in that sense. And I don't like watching long ones. No, they are not long ones. Nothing. Generally, animes like you are describing are much longer than the ones I'm mentioning. The ones I'm mentioning are all shorter episodes
I
of
laid a sizable bounty on the pirates and doubled it for the populist traitors who coordinate them from the land.
17 to 22 minutes
Even the
in that sense.
stars
But if you don't like action,
refuse to do
no,
the
nothing
honorable
I could
thing and
recommend you
herd
is
us to
good.
the meeting places.
I prefer when anime was like 40, 70, 24 minutes episode. I do the same. I do the same. Well, if you want, I can recommend you one. It will have action, but it also
Kaas
has
is a known ally, Duke Eldis.
And I could not
but it
find
also has a bit of that
fire wood in all
Inuyasha.
of known
You have to
space.
watch
To work then.
Inuyasha
Our
from the
intelligence says
90s.
the Lenars come ashore on the beach not
You
far
have to
from
watch
here.
that one. If you like
No doubt
a
they
bit
will be
more
lying in
romance
wait for a
oriented, it
target.
has action, it has all of the crazy stuff of that one, of Dragon Ball Z, for example. A bit less, but if you like that, I would say if you like anime and that, Inuyasha, in that sense.
Ah, Savarin is becoming more generous in his
I've got to recommend you one anime. I generally don't like it. I generally don't like it, but if very few, very few. Like like I generally watch Western cartoons. Western, in that sense. Nothing to older that were good, contrary to what most people might believe nowadays. Back then, they were good. Back then, they were good. As I've said, Samurai Jack, Generator, Rex, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, they were all amazing. It's only now that it's shit. Has some action, even a lot. Some romance and tear spilling, and I don't like it. It's sad. I don't like sad ones. Darling in the Franks. Okay, okay, but I generally like it when they are cheerful and there's a lot of light spirited uh, characters with them. Darling in the Franks. Okay, 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 okay. I'm sorry I cannot help you with the romance one in that sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2018. Oh, that's a risky move, but no, it is true that the Japanese market has remained kind of like stable in terms of quality. In that sense, it is the American market, not American because it's the US and I'm from Argentina, but in general, the Western cartoons created in the US, basically the ones that got a huge drop in quality. It is true. Like it feels like video games have filled the spot of Western action cartoons in that sense. Well, probably because animes usually aren't made for kids. No, but teenagers. The Western cartoons also were made for kids. They were made for kids, but they were also for adults. The ones that I mentioned to you. They were made for adults. The Western cartoons. I know that nowadays, for people who haven't experienced it, most of the ones I watch are like plus 16 or plus 16 or plus 18. Sorry. Yeah. I know that they kept that in that sense, but no. In my case, I promise you that when you grow older, you will like you will like to go back when you were a kid. Trust me. So yeah. And in that sense, but the fact that they are made for kids doesn't mean that they are for kids. Anyone who's watched Samurai Jack or the Clone Wars, they treat topics like death and those things, but they do so kind of like with, as I said, with a Western vision. Still wondering why awful gore in anime are sometimes plus 13 plus and 16. Well, yeah, I can give you reasons. For example, I wouldn't expose a child to that. In that sense, in those ages, the first time I saw blood in a video game was with Assassin's Creed at the age of 13, precisely, exactly at the age of 13. But I can assure you that yeah, I would prohibit those things because we were. I feel that society has turned into something that is not a safe space for kids in that sense, because at the end of the day you are creating content that 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 is way too different, for example, than what we did. For example, Pokemon in the 90s didn't have blood. Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I was watching gore videos on the internet at the age of like 14. No, but well, in my case, something like well, in my case, I don't. That's what I'm mentioning. Just if my 2 cents. Be aware that the fact that you are able to do that is part of a framework of a cultural shift that happened some few years ago that may not have the may not want the best for the members of society. My 2 cents. My 2 cents. Be aware that the fact that you can have access to that is uncommon seen from 10 years ago. Just be aware of that. Then with that information you can do whatever you want, but be aware of that. I can share with you, for example, that I grew up in the 90s with Pokemon, and where someone cut off two guys' heads, changing what I was. But well, I think that's not healthy. I think that's not good. I don't know if you think it's good, but I think it's quite terrible. I think it's quite terrible. Like what you are describing, I haven't seen it in my life. Like in my life, I still cannot picture it because I haven't seen it outside of, I don't know, playing Doom or in a video game. But in real life, I've never seen that at all. For those of you who don't know, for American viewers, primary school means elementary school. Here it's the same, it's primary school because we inherited the European system. But what I can tell you is that it's not normal, or it was not normal for the culture that existed in humanity for the previous 2000 years, unless we are talking about ancient Roman Empire, where uh, they couldn't prevent those things. But at least in the world I grew up with in the 90s, it's definitely not healthy, because as of now I'm almost empty of empathy. No, but regain it. Trust me, regain it, because it's not empathy. That makes you lose sensitivity. It makes you lose sensitivity to 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 brutal images, but you can regain it, and if you do an effort, I would highly recommend you to do so, because then otherwise, as I told you, the access we got to internet, it's something that we still cannot predict. Humanity cannot predict the effects it can have on our brains. It can cause depression. It can cause something much worse, which is uh, not finding meaning in life, because of how natural it may seem watching all of those videos on TikTok or all of that shit. That's why I would prohibit internet access below the age of 18 in that sense, because of all of that crazy stuff. I know that some countries, for example, in my country it was the case. For example, in my country it was the case 100%. I know that in some countries, we are not advanced enough as to deal with all of these things efficiently. Efficiently, no, like actually something terrible happens in my friend's life, and I don't feel anything. I don't really understand why they feel the way they feel. No, but that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. Uh, that's the thing. Uh, what I can tell you is, always cherish your loved ones, your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your brothers, your sisters. Cherish them, and trust me that when you grow up, for example, well, this will feel very innocent compared to what you are describing, but when the only two times I was quite fortunate, I guess, but only two times I felt complete sadness, like what you're describing, like not feeling empathy for anything or anything. Uh, it was when my grandparents died. I know, extremely innocent, quite different, but precisely, uh, it felt like life had no meaning. And what I can assuredly, I'm a scholastic philosopher. I am conservative. But what I can tell you is that even if you are not conservative or whatever, the that life always has meaning. No matter how terrible it is, how how many bad things happen to someone in life, the existence of that life in the metaphysical plane of time and space has a meaning. Because nowadays I see that the tendency and the terrible mistake is thinking, oh well, but if you suffer a lot, then life has no meaning. No, that suffering is there. What I told before to another viewer, to give you experience, and the how well you can absorb that experience from bad things happening to you is it will make you much stronger than for the next challenge that life presents to you. Everything in life has meaning, even bad experiences. Even you could tell me, well, but this is the typical talking point of a lot of um, quite liberal thinkers. All right, thanks, but I got to go to sleep because my sleep schedule is actually like that. No worry, Umbra. No worries, Umbra. But, and if it helps with anything, I'm glad. I'm glad about it. All life has meaning, and trust me, regain that empathy. Regain that empathy because it's worth it. And 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 if you do so, you'll see how much you can love other people in that sense. Regarding that, regarding that. So and also if my company helps with that, well, I'm doubly glad for it when I stream. So thanks from the bottom of my heart for visiting and the chat. I always enjoy it a lot. I always enjoy it a lot. Have a great sleep because I know that also European countries have a lot of good night, good night, good night. I know that also European countries have a lot of hours of difference. Good night, Umbra. Have a great sleep. Okay, people. Okay, people. We continue with the Alderaan storyline. With the Alderaan storyline.
All right. You've done the job of a 10-year-old boy. I'll grant you that.
Yeah, it's about 1 a.m. for me. I thought so. I thought so because I use my time zone is that of the Americas. Thank you always for visiting and the great chats. And the great chat. I always enjoy debating all of these things with my viewers and with philosophy and everything. Then I can give you the philosophical reasons as to why I say the things that I say in that sense. If you're ever curious, I've talked about it with all of my other viewers. Have a great night, Ambra. Have a great night, and thank you for visiting every time, every time. I always enjoy the company of all of my friends here over at Twitch. For me, I always say the word follower is terrible in that sense. We've lost as a society the capability of enjoying the company of others, as I mentioned to District the other day. Okay, people. Okay. Um.
Time to hold up your
I think
end
we'll
of
be
the
able to
bargain.
finish chapter 2 today,
I
yeah?
said I'd
I think we'll be able to
consider
finish chapter 2
dealing with
today.
you. However, I am
And
satisfied that you can handle the trifle of
yeah,
delivering this
pretty much.
I've unlocked my half of the security key. You may return to Baron Zacher, appearing
Remember, the
somewhat
houses
confident.
of Alderaan are fighting for the throne now that there's a void of power, and we are doing the bounties that they require to finally find our target.
This better have what you're offering. You don't want to see me again.
I also need the crew skills.
Of that, there is no doubt. Come along, men. I've had enough of this vagrant's banter.
So, here we go. We got access to grade 2 missions. Great.
I'll be done in no time.
Got access to that. I should go back to the Imperial Fleet
According to your exacting specifications, Master.
to get new schematics for this shit. Okay, no worries. Gold. Go. Perfect. Very well, people. Now we get over here. Over here, over here, over here. No, but regarding the topic that I was precisely commenting here with the viewer, as I was mentioning, I say this in my final end of a year speech every year. Well, speech. I just say some words before I say goodbye until next year. Um, Life always has meaning. regardless
clear
of.
that you have plans in motion, nephew. Ah, your newest lackey.
Oh, wait,
Tell me, did
we'll,
my
we'll
nephew
continue with the
mention that he
philosophy
already
and
hired a
those.
bounty hunter and got him promptly killed?
Past business dealings aren't my interest. Getting paid for this one is.
If you would please excuse yourself, Uncle. I have business with my advocate. I see how your brat Rafid learned to disgrace us. Advocate. Ah. You're back without incident. I'm surprised Lord Malthus didn't raise a stir. Insufferable man.
I don't let shops get me riled.
You performed admirably. According to Malthus's information, Duke Corwin is in negotiations with our enemy, House Organa. They're placing messages in phony relics at House Alder's Royal Museum for later retrieval. Duke Corwin's placed an imposter relic in the museum recently. You'll have to forcibly enter House Alder and find it.
Can I
And I'll look forward to hearing of your success.
Alright, let me activate the experience boost, people, that I got a bit lost there. This one is bound. Ah, this one is bound anyways. Let's go. And precisely when I most need it. There we go, level 26. Nice. Ah, but the conquest objective, I made it in time. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. When I accepted the quest. 70? 69. As I was mentioning, people, regardless of your particular case, I always mention this, regardless of how tough, hard life might get, as I say, always there's always a meaning to it. There's a meaning even to suffering, to all of those things, and trust me, which is learning in that case. Suffering helps with learning. Sadly, it is like that. I know, but that's cruel. No, it's not cruel. Sadly, it works like that. It can be a bit of pain, it can be a lot of suffering in that sense, but it will always give you experience that will help you learn, hopefully, that will help you learn things about life, about the environment, about how human beings behave and everything. And if you, there we go, and if you learn from them, they'll make you stronger for other experiences in life. In that sense, what I was commenting, regardless of the situation, you can tell me, well, but my parents were terrible to me, were terrible, they were not good parents. Well, it doesn't matter, but I want you to think of it like this, if in case you can say your parents weren't good to you. In that sense, or let's say a random case, a person who says his parents were terrible to him, etc., etc., etc. They weren't good parents, they didn't care about him, they didn't do, I don't know, they didn't send him to school or whatever. But think of it this way: if there's a single good action, even in the most, within the blackest hearts, it's way too poetic like this, but even it's like this, even the blackest hearts, the most nefarious human beings that have had the terrible experiences and everything, even in those, there can be 1, 2, 3 actions, or whatever, even a single action in all of their life that that did good for the rest of humanity and whatever. In that sense, there can be even a single action can be good. For example, those two parents that, for example, weren't good at nurturing their children or whatever, perhaps then afterwards, uh, they stumble upon um, a person asking for money on the street, and they give that person money. Two completely unrelated situations. They were not good parents, but then, for whatever reason, they helped the the poor individual on the street, for example, completely unrelated. Or I don't know, uh, the opposite. Let's do the opposite. Something not so dramatic. Um, a person, a guy who cheated on his wife, terrible action. Then he gets divorced. He learns, and then uh, perhaps it happens that with a second woman, or with I don't know, with um, after paying for his, well, it's not a crime, but paying for his unethical actions in that sense, um, then then after a divorce, he uh, he forms a second family, and he's good with the children of his second wife or whatever, and the person is good. What I'm telling you is the opposite of what is the current message of today's society. What is the opposite of today's society, which is that we human beings are all we are all simply a piece of shit, and we are all idiots, and and we're all we're all bad people, and we have no redemption, and we are all just beasts. No, we are not beasts. We make mistakes like everyone else. We make mistakes, and we can correct those mistakes. See the difference in the message. That's what I should have started my previous talking point with. But no, we make mistakes, and we can correct them. 99% of mistakes can be corrected in that sense. Ah, well, but this is the reduction to absurdity that generally the liberal mindset does in that sense. The no, well, but then you would forgive someone who dropped an atomic bomb and killed everyone, and etc., etc. Well, first, let's not generalize and look at the context. Second, I'm not justifying it. It's still a horrible crime, and the person has to pay for it, and etc. And unless it was a military operation in which the guy's country was about to be decimated, or whatever, and he was following orders, or the specifics of the situation, in that sense, the classic case of the atomic bomb. But because I see a lot of people condemning the US for it in a lot of cases when they were getting killed by Japan or whatever. Well, and it was also China behind it, and etc. For example, as a random example. But the key message is that nowadays the what I see that the liberal message is humans are stupid. We are all stupid. We are beasts. We have no redemption whatsoever. And the second someone makes a single stupid mistake, I'm not talking about dropping a fucking atomic bomb or whatever. I'm talking about um, simply. I'm talking about simply. Um, I'm talking about simply a stupid mistake, like like I don't know, cheating on I don't know, I don't know, stupid mistake, like I don't know, saying the pronouns of someone wrong, or I don't know, or saying that you are conservative in public, or other stuff. I see that the second someone gets a bit away from the politically correct, institutionalized social norms, the person is labeled as a horrible criminal or whatever. And if you do that, it's even worse. And the person is condemned, and there's no way of going back. The cancel culture, basically. And that's even worse, because if you do that, then the people who actually commit terrible crimes are kind of like the same as those who make a stupid mistake. You understand the problem? You're kind of like balancing both situations at the same level. You're kind of like comparing them at the same level. You're kind of like establishing that they are at the same level, and because of that, because of that, and because of that, um, and because of that, the the idea is that you are causing a much worse damage to society. You're causing a much worse damage to society by doing that, because at the end of the day, you're making someone who did something stupid feel like he did something evil. And there's a difference in the severity of those problems. When there's no scaling, you're destroying the scaling, the moral scaling of society, by doing that. By saying by saying that as someone who didn't pronounce your who didn't call you with your right pronouns, being the same as a terrible criminal who, for example, uh, killed a person or robbed a house. It's the, hey, kitty